Hey guys, good morning everybody. Okay, let me give you the quick glance about myself and then we'll start with the trading part. So what you can do that, my name is Law Kumar Shah, right? And you can call me Law, that's fine. And I'm a dual CCI. So I have a CCI in enterprise and I have a CCI in the data center as well. Apart from this thing, the CCI part, I have a CCNP certification as well. In a CCNP, if you look for, I have a enterprise, I have a data center, and I have a service provider as well. If you go with, this is the tracks for the Cisco one. If you go with the Juniper part, I do have some Juniper certification as well. I do have a JNCIA, I have a JNCIS, and I have a JNCIP. These all the tracks for the service provider part, right? If I talk about my experience, right, I totally have a 7 years of experience in training at the same time the corporate, right? Right now I'm working for the Cisco. So I'm a Cisco tech engineer right now, right? And in the service provider team. And apart from this thing, right, this is my introduction. Apart from this thing, I do have some blog as well, right? So if you want to check the blog, you can check on the Cisco website as well. I put some blog on the Cisco website, but that is a totally very, very high level. The reason is totally very high level because what? Because I'm a part of the service provider team. So sometimes I write the blog on the service provider part, not on the CCNA level or not on the NP level. Yeah, what I am doing that nowadays, like, I'm putting the, some interview questions, right, on the LinkedIn, my LinkedIn account. So like whatever the port numbers, whatever the protocols number, what are the ADs, right? Or some scenario based questions on my LinkedIn. So you can check that one as well. And even from the tomorrow onwards, what you can do that, you can check the CCI Hub. That's our website, right? You can check the blogs of on a NA label and the NP label as well over there. So many things I'm doing that in the free time. So in the free time, mostly I'm gonna write the blogs and I'm learning the new technology as well. Okay. And this is all about my introduction or basic introduction. So I work for the Juniper as well. So I do have some Juniper experience as well, but I don't have a hands-up and experience on the Juniper devices, right? So if you have a question regarding the Juniper, you can also ask me. I do have a Cisco experience as well. So in a Juniper, I work for the, what we call a design engineer. I was a architect over there, and in the Cisco right now, I'm a tech engineer. So both are the different vendors we have to do providing the networking. So initially, I was just starting my career with Networker Homes, right? It was one of the greatest industry. So initially, I was starting my career with the Networker Homes, right? It's one of the good institute in the India right now. And then I joined to the Juniper. So this is the first part, second, and right now I'm in the third, right now in Cisco right now. Okay. Do you have any question regarding my any intro part? You can ask me. Okay. So before I'm going to start the technology part, I'm a quick tell you the one thing. The networking, right? If I talk about the networking in a very layman language, right? Networking is just what? It's just gonna share the information. Information could be anything, right? It could be your data, it could be your masses, it could be your any telephones. For example, whenever you're ordering something from the Blinkit, right? Or when you're ordering something from the Japto or maybe the Amazon, that's also called as a networking because eventually you're sharing the information, right? Networking is not a new, it's not a new thing. It's a very older days, right? If you go back and check in the 15th century, or even if you go back in the 12th century, what do we call BC and something like that, on that time also networking was happening. How? Let's take example. In the 15th century, what happened if there was a king over there? Let's take example. There's a king of the Jaipur, right? So this is the king of the Jaipur, and he wants to send a message to the Delhi king. So this is the Delhi king we have, right? So the Jaipur king wants to send a message to the Delhi king. What he can do that? He will just write the message right over there, and he will just hand over this masses to the mediator, right? And then what mediator will do that? It will carry this information from here to this location. This is also called as a networking, man, because networking is not a new thing. What people are thinking over the networking right now, networking is a new thing. It's not a new technology. It's an older one. If you go back, networking is what? Sharing the information. Right now, you guys, some guys are working right now, some guys are fresher. It's not a new thing. Just go back in 15th century and take example of this one. Eventually, if this king was communicated with this king, there was no telephone at that time. There was no any satellite, right? So how they will exchange the information based on the putting the information in the paper, and they will hand over to the mediator guy, and then he will send the information to the Delhi king. A normal guy in the 15th century, how they will exchange the information? There was a postman, right? A postman who will deliver the information from the one location to another location. Gradually, what happened? People are understood, okay, this is a very slow process. Slow process in the sense of what? It means that if the Jaipur king wants to send the message to the Delhi king, if you see the distance between the Jaipur and Delhi, it's just almost 300 kilometers, right? To send the information through the 300 kilometer, normally on that time, it took the almost 2 to 3 days almost, or maybe even the 7 days as well. It's depend on the priority. It's depend on the priority. If the normal guy will send the message from one location to the different location in this century, it will take the 7 days. If the king wants to send the message, it will take the 2 and 3 days. Then many of the scientists comes in the picture on the time of the 16th century and 17th century, and they found that, okay, this is a very slow process. And then what happened? They introduced the telephone, right? And even the telephone, what happened? I can send the message from the one location to the different location very immediately, like just a matter of second. I'm quick giving the glance of the networking, guys. I'm not explaining what is right now networking. I'm just telling you, networking is not a new thing. It's very older one. You just need to think about it. So 15th century, we had a guy. Before the 15th century, if you see, there's some birds are there, right? Who was carrying the information. If you see some older movies over there and the older, what do we call, dramas, you will see that there's a birds who was carrying the message. Then the guy comes in the picture, the postman comes in the picture, and then eventually the telephone comes in the picture. I think so near on the 85, the telephone comes in the picture who is saying that, hey, you know one thing, you don't need a guy over there. I'm going to handle the information. So now the information was being sent between the one location to the different location with the help of cable. Now he's the mediator who's going to handle the information, not the man. So we moved from the living things to the non-living things. But again, the problem with the telephone is what? The problem with the telephone, you can only send the voice data, right? You can only send the voice. Can you send the any like a kind of written data on the telephone? No, you cannot do that. Normally, how you make a call? There was a phone, something like that. If you guys remember that in the 19th century, not 90s, in the 90s time, right? So you need to make a call over there. And now you can, once you make a call to this guy, there was a number associated with the person. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. So this guy's going to dial the number 4, 5, 6. The call will go to the Delhi king. And normally what you can do that, you're going to just send the voice message over there, not any kind of written message. Then later on, what happened? The radio comes in the picture as well, right? The satellite communication was happened. Through the radio, what happened? We were listening, if you remember that, we were listening the matches, right? If you belongs to the 90s time, we were listening the matches and then the news as well. That's also called as a networking. Because one guy, he's sending the information to all the person. Okay, that networking is called as a different types of networking. We have different types of networking as well, but eventually called as a networking. But in the both the case, if you see that telephone and radio, they both focus on the voice part. Gradually, what happened, right? In near around 1960 time, right? What happened? People are think there was one of the project was going on in the USA. That project name is called as a ARPANET, right? And finally, in the ARPANET, what happened? The internet words was introduced. Don't worry, we'll go through the ARPANET again. I'm just giving you the quick glance of the networking, right? How the history began, right? So in the finally in the 1960, what happened? There was a project between the Ford, what we call Ford University in the USA, and then on that time, what happened? The first internet comes in the picture, and on that time we can send the message, right? The write message, written message, we can send it. We can send the voice message as well as, and gradually in the 2000 time, what happened? We can send the video message as well as. Right now, you can do the video call as well. So start with the voice, then it comes to the written, right? The data, the email, we can say that. And then finally we came to the video as well. So networking is not a new things, guys. It's a very older things. You just need to think about it. And this is how you can correlate the technology with the older days, right? Now, the question comes in the picture, who provides the networking? Is there any company? Is there any guy who provides the networking? See, it's all about the scenarios. If I talk about, right, in networking is not a small thing. To do the networking, right? To do the networking, what happened? We have some hardware devices. We do have some software as well, right? But first understand, we do have a hardware devices. And this hardware devices is provided by the different organization. We have a IBM. First of all, we had a Xerox over that in the 90s, 80s time. Then we have a IBM over there. Then we have a HP over there. Then we have a Cisco. Then Juniper comes in the picture, right? So multiple vendor we have in the market, right? Who provide the hardware devices. And based on this hardware devices, we do the networking. Okay, let me tell you, the hardware means what? The meaning of hardware is just gonna tell you that it's a physical thing. Physical thing means what? Your laptop could be the hardware devices. Your phone, it could be the hardware devices. A software things is what? That you cannot see that. It's a virtual, right? So to do the networking, right? What happened? I need a hardware devices. And the hardware devices could be the laptop, could be the phone as well. But in networking, we have some different devices. I'll explain you later. Don't worry about that. I just explained you the meaning of hardware devices over there. So we have a different vendor who provide the networking devices. Right now in the market, if I talk about this guy is a very dominant. Then if you see this guy is a dominant, then this guy is a dominant in the market right now. If you go for the next one, the new guy comes in the picture. His name is Arista. This guy is a very dominant in the market as well. So we have a multiple vendor, right, who provide the networking devices. We have a multiple vendor who provide the clothes, water. If you see that we have Bisleri, right, we have a different kinds of water as well from the Tata side, from the Mani side, right? Different kinds of water we have, different brands of clothes we have. Same thing, we have a different brands of hardware devices we have. The top brand we have over here is called as a Cisco. Then we have a Juniper, then we have Arista, then we have HP as well, and so on. It's not only we have a four. If you go with the Huawei also provide the networking devices. Palo Alto also provide the networking devices, right? FortiGate, Sony. Now, why we are learning the Cisco? Why we are not learning the any other vendor? That's also most important interview question comes in the interview, right? Why you have learned the network? Why you have started with the Cisco carrier, not the Juniper one? A very simple answer I have. The Cisco is a very easy to learn it. What do you mean by easy to learn it? The documents of the Cisco is easily available on the internet. The configuration, or in a simple term, we can say that CLI, command line interface, right? It's a very easy to understand it. It's like you are just reading the English letter. Let me give you the one quick glance. Let's take example. We have an interface 0/0, right? I'm going to give the IP address on this guy. So the command will be start with the IP address over there. So you can easily read this language over there. But if you go with the another vendor, they have a little bit different way to configure the IP addresses. So Cisco is a dominant in the market because of many reasons. The first of all, the product of the Cisco is amazing. People are focusing on the Cisco to learn it because of the easy configuration, easy CLI, easy management. Documents are very easily available. Then people are starting the career with the Juniper as well. So once the people expert in the Cisco and they have a plan, okay, let's go with the Juniper as well. They do the Juniper as well. But sometimes what happened when the people get a job in the Juniper, they started their career from the Juniper itself. It's not a mandatory to you have to start the career with the Cisco only. You can go with the Juniper as well. The first time, if I talk about the Cisco was introduced in the in 1984. The Juniper was introduced in the 1996. See the difference over there. He's a very older player in the market, right? He's the new player in the market. So almost it took the 12 years, the Juniper took the 12 years to understand the networking. Cisco just started the career in the 1984, the time where the networking was growing, the time when the IP address was introduced, the time where the networking devices was introduced. It's not like that. The Cisco is the only vendor on the 1984 that who provide the networking devices. There was a vendor of the Xerox. He was the first company who introduced the router. People are thinking, okay, the Cisco is a vendor. He only provided the router, and he was the first company who gave the router. No, Xerox was the first company who gave the router. But nowadays, the dominant, if I talk about in the era of the 2024, he's the dominant guy in the market. Then he's the dominant guy in the market. He's the dominant guy in the market, but in the different tracks over there. So to understand the dominant, what you can do that, you need to understand the, first of all, flow of the courses. What courses the Cisco provide, what courses the Juniper has provided. And then you will understand, okay, the HP is a great in the different technology. The Cisco is awesome in the different technology, and Juniper is awesome in the different technology. Palo is in a different field, and the FortiGate is in a different field. Okay, so I'll give a quick glance of the courses as well. So the first courses, if I talk about the Cisco have, it's called as a CCNA. Before the CCNA, there was another course was there. It's called as a CCENT. Right? It was an entry level of the SPCORE certification, but nowadays we don't have it. The CCNA stands for Cisco Certified Network Associate. Now understand a little bit history of this guy. What I told you that Cisco was come in the market in the 1984, right? Juniper was came in the market in the 1996, right? The CCNA syllabus, the courses of the CCNA, right? It came in the 1998. Initially, the Cisco was a player of the hardware devices, right? He was only dealing with the networking components. Later on, what happened after the almost 18 years, not 18 years, we can call it, so 14 years, right? After the 14 years, the Cisco has decided, hey, we need to move in the silly courses as well, right? We need to move in the education line as well, because to understand the component, to do the configuration of the component, the person has a knowledge of that one. So that's why Cisco has decided, okay, let me introduce the courses so that we can train the people and the people can do the configuration of the Cisco boxes. So Cisco has started the first examination of the Cisco is called as a CCNA in the 1998. This examinations or this course is only going to tell you about the foundation of the networking. Guys, I need your attention over there, because if you understand this part, you can easily choose your career. Because many times I have seen the people has a confusion, and he did the CCI enterprise. If you check that on the, I'm sorry. If you check on the Google as well or the LinkedIn as well, people used to put the question, hey, I did my CCI enterprise. I did my CCNP. What should I do now? Should I go with the data center? Should I go with the security? Man, you have done your CCI. You have no idea what courses you're going to follow in future. So you need to make a pay attention over there right now, so that you can avoid this kind of confliction in the future. CCNA gives you the foundation of the networking. Foundation means what? By doing the CCNA, for example, this guy name is, let's take example, is Moin, right? He did the CCNA, right? After doing the CCNA, what happened? This guy has only knowledge about the IP addressing. He can do the configuration of the IP addresses. He can do the configuration of the layer 2, like a switching as well. A basic configuration I'm talking about, like a VLAN, spanning tree protocol, normal, very basic. And he can do the routing as well. That's all. Even in the routing, he cannot do much thing. He cannot do the EHGRP nowadays. According to the now syllabus, in the new syllabus, he cannot do the EHGRP. In the old syllabus, right? If I talk about the old syllabus, he can do the EHGRP as well. So what you have to understand this part. So this syllabus of the CCNS keep changing at every year, maybe in the 2 year or maybe 3 year. What Cisco do? Cisco revise the syllabus of that courses. So in the old, we had a EHGRP. In the new, we don't have a EHGRP. So if this guy, the Mohin, he did the CCNA training, he can do the basic part. He has an idea about the wireless, but he cannot do the wireless configuration. He has an idea about the automation, but he cannot do the automation configuration. He has an idea about the SDN solution is the buzz in the market, but he cannot do the SDN. So CCNA will only gives you the basic foundation knowledge. But if I tell you one thing, the CCNA, if you have a good exposure in the CCNA, you can easily crack a good job in the market. Good job in the sense of what? You can easily get the package of the 2 to 4 lakhs rupees. It's totally depend on your skill set. I have seen the people in, like, when I was in the Bangalore, right? I have seen the people was getting the package of the 6 to 8 lakhs as well with the help of CCNA only. It's totally depend on how much good knowledge you have. Right? Once you do the CCNA, right, then what happened? We have a CCNP as well. Right? So let me go through the tracks over. So after doing the CCNA, what happened? You will open like a certain tracks. So you will have a enterprise, right? You will have a service provider. You will have a data center. I cannot go through the every tracks. I'll just give you the quick glance of the 3 to 4. You have a security, and then you have a CCD. And then you have a automation as well. Damnet. Right? So apart from, we have a multiple tracks as well. I'll let you know. Apart from, we have a wire. I'll just put right on over there. So apart from this thing, we have a wireless as well. Right? We do have a collaboration as well. Right? So apart from this thing, we do have a wireless and collaboration. The first of all, after doing the CCNA, right? This guy, the Mohin, right? He did the CCNA, and now he can decide, okay, I have a multiple tracks now. Where should I go? So let's take example, right? He has now the foundation knowledge. So what he can do that, right? if this guy is get interested in the security, right? Security in the sense of what? Our network security, right? Or we can say the cyber security. First of all, let me tell you that both are a different thing. It's not the same, right? Both are a different thing. It's not the same thing, right? So if they are planning to do the security part, like he's interested in the security, what he can do that he can easily jump to the security and he can start their course with the CCNP security. That's simply called as a SCORE exam, security code exam, right? Another guy who also done the CCNA, let's take example of Vabna, right? He did the CCNA as well. What he can do that, what he can do that, she said, hey, you know one thing, I'm not a security guy, right? What he can do that, he can start the career with the enterprise. She said, hey, I can go with the CCNP ENCORE paper, the enterprise paper. So if you see the name over there, the first name, right? If you see that, let me do one thing, 1 minute, hold on. Right, the first name, if you see that, the code we have, right? The code we have, the EN means what? Enterprise, and S means what? Security, right? So the Bhavna can start the career with the enterprise because she is interested in the routing and switching. Right? She's not interested in the security part, so she can start the career with the CCNP ENCORE. So that's how you are going to select it. You cannot start with a data center initially. You cannot start with a service provider. Now the trick part is what we have over here. Now the people are doing most of the people are doing the mistake over there. After they're doing the CCNA, what the guy is doing that, he can easily jump to the security part. It's a very wrong step the people are doing there. And after that, what happened after the 1 year? He said, hey, you know, I have no knowledge about the security right now. I do not have a knowledge of the CCNP right now. You can do the training of the CCNP security and eventually you can do the CCI security training. But what happened eventually, you had no knowledge about the route switch. You don't have a knowledge of the routing protocols. If you don't have a knowledge of the routing protocols, you cannot crack the interview. Because in the interview, what happened, right? Doesn't matter what track you are doing that. They will start questioning from here. They will start questioning from the enterprise, not from the security starting. So you went for the CCNP security exam, like, you know, interview, and there was a 10 question, right? What happened? The first 3 questions from the enterprise, and then he will ask you the 7 question from the security, right? So what you can do that, you can have to start, even if you're planning to do the CCNP security, what you can do that, you need to go with this flow. So once you have done with the CCNA, doesn't matter the Mohin is coming for the CCNP security or CCNP enterprise or CCNP service provider, they has to go through this way. The path is there. Because this gives you the complete knowledge about the networking. And then after that, he can choose anything. So it's like a 10th, right? You have a 10th. You need to do the 12th as well. And then you can choose any graduation. I can go with the graduation in the enterprise. I can go with the graduation in the service provider. I can go with the graduation in the data center and the security. Okay. Now the same thing, if I talk about the service provider also have a NP level of examination. That's called as a CCNP SPCORE, right? The data center also we have an examination of the NP level. That's called as a DCORE. The CCDE also has an examination that's called a CCDP, right? And DevNet also has an examination that's called a DevCore. So everyone has a core paper. If you see that, that's an NP level of certification. Now understand one thing. I cannot go through the each and every paper line, right? So what I can do that I'm going to explain the enterprise level. Now understand the technology first of all. Enterprise means what? Let's take example. This is the one of the company we have, company XYZ. Okay. This company XYZ has a bunch of people who are using the PC right now to do the communication, right? Okay, so there is a PCs are present over there. And there we have another company we have. That's called as ABC in the different location. So now this part will clear you the concept, which what should I do? Should I do go with the enterprise service provider, CCNP security, anything? It will help you that. Now we have another site. That's my data center. So normally what happened, like, when you have a bunch of data, you are going to store that data into the some location. It's like, let me give you the layman example. So let's take example, your PC, right? Your normal computer has full with the data. What you will do that? You're not going to buy the next computer. You're not going to buy the next laptop. You're not going to buy the next phone, right? What you can do that? You're just going to buy the external hard disk, right? You will just copy the entire laptop data into the hard disk, and you will put that hard disk at some different location, right? You're not going to use on a regular basis, right? You're going to just use it whenever you have a requirement. Same thing, a data center is what, right? So it's going to contain the lots of data. Whenever you have a requirement of data, you will just fetch the data from the data center, and you will install and copy the data in your laptop always. It's like a AWS, right? When you store the photos on the cloud, the best example of the data center. So the photos or all photos on the cloud, whenever you have a requirement, you just download the photos from the cloud. Example of the data center. Now, let's take example. We have a switch over there, right? This is the one of the component we have. Then we have another switch over there. Then we have another next component, we have routers over there. So this is how we have a connectivity right now. Okay. These are my cables, right? So same thing, we have a switch one. And then we have routers over there. Same time, we do have some server as well. So let's take example. We have some FTP server, right? Web server. Server is just a terminology, guys. Let me explain you this part as well. So many of the person has a confusion with the server. Server, what is the difference between server and the PC? So normally your PC is what? Let's take example of mine, right? So I do have a laptop with me where I'm on the laptop where I'm taking classes, right? So this laptop has a capacity of what? 16 GB RAM, right? And I have 1 TB of the SSD right now. Now, if I talk about the core processor, I do have a 8-core processor, right? Just this have an amount of this thing I have, right? Now, can I do the advanced level of the lab in this laptop? Let's take example of the basic gaming, right? So let's take example is a game. The game name is called as a XYZ. This is the name of the game, right? This game has a requirement of what? I have a requirement of the 32 GB RAM, or maybe the 16-core CPU. Can I install this one in my laptop? I cannot do that, right? I cannot do that. So what happened? The server comes in the picture. Server is basically a high storage capacity devices. So my server right now, what do we have? I have a 385 GB RAM, right? I have almost 2 TB of SSD and 28 core CPU I have right now. So yesterday what happened, just give you the example. Yesterday what happened, I was trying to install there's one software that's called the ACI in the data center. Okay, so I thought like, let me install the ACI in my personal laptop. Instead of turning on my server many times, I can do in my laptop as well. So what happened, I tried to install it. But eventually what happened after the 20 minutes, it gave the error. Hey, you know one thing, I need a 12 core CPU. how much CPU I had it? 8-core CPU. So can I install the software in my laptop? I cannot do that. So eventually what happened? I need to install in my server. So there's no difference. You can just say that server is just an advanced level of computer we have, right? Now, if you have any question, you can put the question in the chat box as well, right? Don't worry. And I'll come to the questioning as well. Don't worry. Now, what we have, so we have some server as well that's going to handle the huge amount of data and traffic, right? Now, understand this concept. If you want to provide the communication between the PC1 to the PC2 and PC3, PC4, PC5, and PC6, right? What happened? You need to do the discourse enterprise. Same thing. If you not provide the communication between this PC to this PC to this PC, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you need to do the enterprise. Because in the enterprise, what happened? You will understand how the communication is happening between the PC to the router to the switches. That's all. That's only you're going to learn it in an enterprise level. Now, I have to provide the communication between the company XYZ to the company ABC. This guy is located in the Delhi, and this guy is located in the maybe in the Bangalore, right? If you're going to provide the communication from the Delhi to the Bangalore, can I put the cable between like this way? It's not possible. Right? It's possible. It's not a scalable. You cannot put the cable from here to here directly, right? It's almost 2000 kilometers, right? You cannot put the cable between this guy to this guy. So what you can do that, you will take a help of the new guy, and this new guy say that, hey, you know one thing, I'm the ISP service provider. This service provider has a connectivity with the multiple routers, multiple companies. It's not only 2 companies. They are handling the connectivity of the 1000 plus customer. I just gave you the 2 scenario right now because I don't have a space. But like this way, this ISP is going to handle the multiple connectivity of the customer. So let's take example. This ISP could be the Jio. It could be the Airtel as well. And under this ISP, understand this concept. Under this ISP, what happened? We also have a router. Sometimes we do have a switches as well. But normally, if you understand this way, I just explained you the PC and server example, right? This router switches we have in my company network, it's a very low series of router. That's only going to handle the low amount of traffic. The traffic that is generating inside the company's network, and sometimes the different guys accessing the server, a very low amount of traffic. Because you are the only one company, right? A few users. But when the ISP has a connectivity to multiple customer, it has a higher end of routers. Understand the concept, guys, over here, because this guy is gonna give the new track information. This higher end of the router, right, is present in the service provider. So I'll call this guy as a router. We have router number 4 right now, router 5, and router 6. So when you're gonna manage or provide the connectivity between this guy to this guy, the complete service provider connectivity, when you're gonna do it, then you're gonna learn the service provider. Understand the concept. Your same protocol, OSPF, is one of the protocol, routing protocol. Your one of the routing protocol is BGP. Don't worry about that. If you don't know about the OSPF and BGP, I'm just giving you the quick glance right now. We will be discussing about each and everything. If you know, it's good. If you don't know, leave it. So the same protocol, the OSPF, you're gonna run over here, right? The same protocol OSPF you're gonna run over here. Only the difference is what? the devices are different. For example, you can call it, this is the iPhone 11, not iPhone 11. Let's take example. This is the Windows laptop, right? In a Windows laptop, you can also do the Chroming. You can do the Chrome. And in a Mac laptop, you can also do the Chrome, right? But in the different ways. So if you're going to manage the service provider, right? For example, if you need a job in the Geo and ISP, Geo, Airtel, and the big ISPs we have in the world, you can do the service provider track. So service provider is going to handle the lots of traffic. It's a higher end of routers we have. Now, the companies is going to store the data at the different location. So maybe the data center I have for the XYZ in maybe let's take example in a London. This DC, the data center also has a connectivity with the service provider as well, dude. Because eventually I need a connectivity between all this guy. All this connectivity that you can see that this line we have over here, this is not a line, it's just a cable. Don't worry about that. We have a multiple types of cable. We'll see that. Just a cable we have. Depend on the requirement, depend on the technologies, we use the different cable. But eventually this is the cable. Now in the data center, what happened? I do have a devices, man. This devices we have over there. Again, it's beyond the higher end of series of devices we have. That's called as switches. The switches has a connectivity with the server as well, bunch of server. Right. So we have a higher end of the routers. These are the higher end of the switches we have now. So if you want a planning to export in the data center to manage the complete data center network, you can go with the data center. Then no need to do the service provider now. Leave it. Because you want to do the expertise over here in the data center. If you want to explore the enterprise network, do the enterprise. Same OSPF routing protocol you're going to run over there, man. Same protocol. Nothing is different. Only the thing is that the way of configuration is different. Because this switches is different than this switches. This router is different than this router. Just give you the example, right? This is the Windows laptop. This is the Mac laptop. And this is the Linux one. Now, company XYZ has a connectivity with the company ABC. And eventually the data center has a connectivity with the service provider as well. We do have a good connection. Let me remove this guy. I don't need it. Now what happened? This service provider, as I mentioned that this guy is going to give you the connectivity with a bunch of customers. 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 as well. Sometimes this ISP has a good user, a good company. Sometimes the service provider also has a bad company as well. That's called as a attacker. Right? Because normally when you take the connection from the service provider, they are not going to identify you. They are not going to search about you, right? They will just give you the connection. The money will not comes to you and say, hey, you're the bad guy and the good guy. The salesperson comes to you and say, okay, take the connection now. So on the service provider, on the internet company, we can say that this is the service provider we can call as the internet. We have a good user and the bad user as well. The bad user, the intention of the bad user is what? It's just trying to get the information of your company. or maybe just trying to eavesdropping of your packet. So whatever the information, let's take example. I'm so sorry. This PC has sent the information, the packet. This comes to the switch now. This comes to the router. This comes to the router number 2 and 1. And this comes to the between the ISPs. And then it's sent over the ISPs to this customer. And finally, it comes to the over here. Understand this concept. And then it comes to the over here. And then it comes to the over here now. So this packet will go hop by hop. What do you mean by hop by hop? Is go by the devices by devices. Can you see that? When this PC wants to communicate with this PC, it's go by hop by hop. What I told you that we have a bad user as well over here. Either what he can do that he will maybe perform the attack on this packet, or maybe he will do the eavesdropping. He will get the entire information on your packet. So for example, you just send the password of your facebook.com or maybe the Gmail, right? So let's take example, you have put the ID of the Gmail ID 123 and the password is the XYZ. What happened? This attacker will get the all information of your password, identification of the password as well. Now he can do the login of your Gmail. Once he has a login access, what he can do that? He can gather every information of your companies or devices, whatever the information you have in your laptop side. And after that, maybe he will ask you the money for that one. He will threat you. Hey, I have all your information. I need your money. So by doing the enterprise, listen to me carefully now. By doing the enterprise, by doing the service provider, by doing the data center, eventually, if I talk about, you are just providing the connectivity. You are just providing the connectivity. You're not providing the security now. You're just providing the connectivity. It's like a simple, I'll tell you. It's like a building a one home. Building, right? It's just making a one home, making a one building, making a one society. That's all. You're just building it. You're just building the network. That's all. You're not providing the security. So in that case, what happened? If you want that this bad user should not perform any kind of attack in your network, I just gave you a small example of the attack. The attack is happening of your complete organization as well. Last year, my attack was happening in my server as well. So it's a very small thing. So if you want to save your network, then what happened? You need to do the security. That's a part of the security comes in the picture. Now, what I told you that, let's go back. The guy Mohin, right? He did the CCNA, right? And he decided with the start with the carry with the security. Right? Can he do that directly security? No, he cannot do that. Because first of all, you need to understand how the network is being built, right? Because if you don't know how to make a home, how could you put that lock over there? So first you need to make a home, right? By doing the enterprise service provider and data center, depend on what kind of home you're going to make it. If you're going to make a small home, do the enterprise. If you're going to make a large home, because setting the large network, do the service provider. Beyond the large giant network, you do the data center. After that, what you can do that, you will put the lock over there in the door. Putting the lock on the door, it's called as a security, doing the security. If you start the carrier, right, directly from the CCNP to the security, CCNP security, you will lose many and many information. And eventually what happened, I'll tell you, I have a very good example, right? Let me pause the recording for this one. Is go enterprise. And then after doing the CCNP enterprise, if you are very interested in the setting the network or building the network at the very giant level, then go with this two track. After once you become the expert in this track, then you go with this track. So let's take example. Moin wants to become the security engineer. What he can do that? He can do the enterprise and then he can directly jump to the what? Let me remove this one. He can directly jump to the security part. But there's a girl over there, Bhavna. He said, hey, she said that, one thing, I'm not a security girl. What I can do that, I will do the enterprise and I'm interested to making a network at the big level. I will go with this track. Now, if I come to the money, like which one has a lots of money, because most of the people have this kind of question, which track has a lots of money? Let me tell you that it's a myth. It doesn't mean that has lots of money and the data center doesn't have it. Or enterprise has a lots of money. It's just a myth. I have seen that people are doing the security nowadays. Why? Because hey, security has a very good scope in the market. And he has security has a very good package in the market as well. The first question comes to you. Without doing the building the network, you cannot do the security. Where are you going to apply the security? Can I put the lock without making a home? Is it possible? If your network is not there, this network is not there, how can you put the security? It's just a myth everywhere. People have a different approaches. I'll tell you the packages of all this stack has the same one, right? There's nothing is difference. I'll tell you, you just need to be there at the good place. Only the difference is that. Don't be there for the more than 5 years, 10 years and 20 years over there one place and looking for the one package. Yeah, if you have become the director of the company and if you become the manager of that company, then you stay for that company for the 10 years and 5 years. But if you need a money, right, if you need a money very fastly, right, and if you want to increase your package very fastly, the best way, keep changing the job. See, what happened, one thing, changing the job is not a bad thing. The first of all, what benefits you will get that? The benefits you will get that you will have a good exposure. At the same time, you can challenge yourself that how much knowledge you have according to the market. Sometimes people have the fear to give the interview because I will fail. Of course you will fail. What happened then? Eventually you will pass, right? That's the most important thing. So give the interview. Doesn't matter if you select or not. Give the interviews, right? And try to understand the package level, what's the market is going on. Because when you give the interview, right, you will see that what kind of question they are asking in the interview. You will see that where the market is going. Okay, so now the next part we have coming over there. So now you have clear the difference between the security and the enterprise, right? Now let's take example. What happened? There's another track we have. It's called the CCDE. Now, normally when you're gonna make a home, right? So there's a two types of people as comes in the picture. One is called as a labor, right? Who's gonna put the cements and the bricks over there, right? And there's another guy who is called as an architect over there, who is gonna design this home structure, right? who will tell you where should put the door, where should put the bathroom, where should put the kitchen, right? Where should be the stairs over there. So this is the guy who's gonna tell you, dictate you. The labor is just a work of war. He's just gonna put the things over there. Same thing. The enterprise service provider data center security doesn't matter what you're doing that. You just think is like a what? It's just like a labor. Okay, don't assume like that way. I'm just giving you the example of this one. You're just gonna set up the network. Set up the network in the sense of what? You're just gonna configure the OSPF routing protocol. You're gonna configure the BGP protocol. You're gonna put the cables over there. You're gonna put the VLAN over there. You're gonna put the DSCP over there. But who is gonna dictate you? Who is gonna design? Okay, this switch has to be here. This router has to be here. This server has to be here. Because your job is what? Your job is just gonna configure it. Who is gonna design this network like this way? Let's take example. This is the PC, this is the switch, and this is the router we have. And then we have ISP over there. So from this PC, I can go to the facebook.com. But what happens if this router goes down? You will lose all the traffic. So what I can do that, I will put the another backup router over there in the picture. Router 1 and router 2. So if the router 1 goes down, I can send my traffic by the router number 2 right now. So I have a device label of the redundancy in this picture right now. Who is going to design this kind of scenario? Because I'm the network engineer, I cannot do that. Yeah, you are going to learn the same thing over here as well. But at the fresher level, you cannot do that, this level of designing. So if you want to explore more about the design level, you have to do the designing. That's called the Cisco certified design, D for design. And nowadays, the new tracks comes in the picture in the 2 years back of the Cisco is called as a DevNet. DevNet is called as a developer plus networking. So for example, you know, if you are good in the software, right, and you love the networking as well. For example, you are good in the Python, you're good in the Java, you're good in the XML as well, and you love to do the networking as well. This track is best for you. To do this track, the DevNet, again, you must have a knowledge of the enterprise as well. So any track, if you're going to start it, you need to do the enterprise. So enterprise is like a gate. It's like a gateway of your career. So the automation, people are doing the automation, right? It comes over here. Every track has a almost same level of package, same demand everywhere, because if you see that each track has a own expertise in their field. Service provider needs a ISP, enterprise needs an enterprise network, data center needs a data center. Security, if you want to put the security in the enterprise network or the service provider, you need a security guy. For the designing, I need a CCDE. For the automation, I need a DevNet. So each track has the same label of the expert requirement. Only you need to understand the flow, that's all. Now, after that, each track has an expert level of certification. So this guy has a CCI, Cisco certified inter network expert, right? So you have a CCI in the enterprise, right? You have a CCI in the service provider, You have a CCI in the data center. You have a CCI in the security. You have a CCI in the CCD, right? You have a CCI in the DevCore as well, DevNet as well. Everywhere we have a CCI. CCI, this gives you the, if you see the NP full form, it's give you the Cisco certified. Professional, right? So this gives you only give the a knowledge of the professional label, but you are not an expert in the enterprise. So if you want to become the expert in the enterprise, then you need to do the CCI track. So after doing the CCNA, for example, if you're planning to do the enterprise level of knowledge, right? Only the enterprise level of knowledge for the 1 year. What you can do that you need to follow the path like this way, then professional, then expert. If you want to do the service provider, then you need to do the CCNA, right? Then what you can do that you have to do the service provider, and then you need to go this way like this way. Same thing when you do the data center CCI, you have to do the CCNA. Then again you have to go with the enterprise NP level, come to the data center core, and then come to the CCI. So all the tracks has to be redirected to the enterprise NP level. Any tracks if you want to do that. But every track has a expertise. That's a CCI. So normally, if I talk about this examination is called the written examination. The CCN exam is called the written exam. This is also called the written exam. This is also called the written exam. You may have some labs, small labs are there, right? Small labs means what? You just need to configure the IP addressing, configure the basic routing protocol, just 2 minutes of the lab. That's all. These all are called a written paper, right? But when I talk about the CCI, you have a written plus lab. That comes in the 3 hours of the written. Normally, this called as a design exam, right? And 8 hours of the lab, sorry, 5 hours of the lab exam we have. So total, we have 8 hours of the exam, right? In every track of the CCI. So for example, let's take example, there's a guy over there, Faizan, right? And what Faizan wants to planning, he wants to do the CCI enterprise, right? So he has to do the CCNA. Then he will go to the CCNP enterprise. He need to give this exam, CCNP ENCORE, right? This exam, the CCNA exam is optional for the Faizan. If he wants to give it, he can give it. Otherwise, he can save the money of the CCNA exam. Okay, guys, attention over there, because here you will save the lots of cost. Okay, so it's optional, not a mandatory. He has to give the CCNP, it's a mandatory exam. And then what happened? Then he can go with the CCI lab exam. In the CCI lab exam, what happened when you reach to the CCI lab exam? So this exam he can give to the online as well. If he has a good laptop and the good internet connection, he can give the online exam, or he can go to the Pearson Center. So Pearson is the one of the organization, Pearson VUE, right? Who handle all the kinds of examination like Microsoft, Juniper, Cisco, right? It's one of the kind of organization we have. Like you can see that we have multiple types of train in the India, right? Satabdi, Vande Bharat, Rajdhani, right? Durantro. All these things are handled by whom? IRCTC. Same thing, multiple vendors we have. All these vendor exams of the written level is going to handle by the Pearson VUE. Now, once you have done, you are planning to do the CCI lab exam. You have to reach to the Bangalore location in the India. So there is only 8 to 10 place in the complete world where you can give the examination of the CCI. Once you reach to the Bangalore at the location, right, the Cisco center, right, it's in the Marathali, right, and you will reach to the over there, and just wait for the 10 to 15. So you will just do the 8:30, right? Something like that. And the guy will come, the proctor will come at the 9 o'clock, and they will take you into the, you know, in the building. I think so. Building number 12 is happening the exam, right? And what happened? They will give you the two laptops, two desktop over there. One keyboard will be there, and then one mouse will be there, and one page pen will be there, right? So you will be sitting over there like this way, and they will they will give you the some ID and password. Once you put the ID and password in your desktop, your exam will be open for the CCA. So in that particular room, there's a room over there, right? In that particular room, there were only, I think so, one, two, maybe the 5 to 7 PCs are there maximum. Only 5 to 7 will be there, or maybe 8 will be there. I'm not able to recall it how many is there, but yeah, below the 10. But sometimes if the people has a, like if the range of the people is good over there, then what happened? They arrange some other PC as well. So what happened when you put the ID and passport over there? What happened? Then finally the start will be the 3 hours of the design paper. It's a written over there. Why is the written? Because you're not gonna do any kind of configuration. You're not gonna do any kind of lab over there. Just a written normal. Drag and drop. Select the one from the port. And once you have done this paper, for example, let's take example. You have started your exam at 9 o'clock, and you are very good in the written. You can done with the 10 o'clock, right? So in a 1 hour you have finished the design, right? So your 2 hours that of your exam has gone now. You don't have it. It's not gonna add it over there. Once you have done with this paper in a 1 hour, immediately what happened? Your lab will be start. In a 5 hours of the lab exam, you have a bunch of routers, bunch of switches, bunch of server, bunch of technology. You need to do that. Almost you need to configure. For example, if you go with the enterprise, you need to configure the 50 plus routers and switches. Multiple technology, you need to do that. I'll show you the lab. Don't worry about that, how the labs comes over there. Like not the same, but looks like. So you need to configure all this plus 50 routers and switches and the PCs, the servers in a 5 hours. Once you have done the configuration, then you need to do the verification. Once your verification is successful, you have satisfied all the criteria of the Cisco that is given in the paper, then you will easily get the, what we call passing score in maybe the 30 minutes or maybe the 40 minutes. Sometimes people will take the, some people, take the 1, 2 hours and 3 hours as well. Mine, when I give my exam for the CCA enterprise and the data center, I get my result in the max to max 40 to 50 minutes only. So it's a big level of examination, man. So if you go and check on the Google, the top 10 certification in the world. So CCI itself is, itself is placed in the 7th or 8th position, something like that. 8 hours of exam. It's not a simple exam. It's a very hard one. The passing rate, if I talk about, is only 3% of the people who pass the exam. But once you pass the exam of the CCI, right, you will get the one magic number. Right? The magic number is normal digit number. So for mine is a 63523. I think so Puneet has a 65, something like that. I am not able to recall it. So this is the magic number right now. Mine have 63523. If you go with a different one, like, right now it's going with the 68,000. So every person who passed the examination, you will get the magic number. This magic number is with you for the lifetime. So even if you pass the CCI, your magic number will be for example, 70,001. Even if you pass the data center or security in future, still the same number will be there. Only the new certificate will become. So once you pass the exam, you will get the number. At the same time, what happened? Your certification, right? The complete kit is coming from the USA. So it will take the 2 and 3 months. The complete kit will become from the USA, from the Cisco team. And after that, once you have a good knowledge and you pass the lab exam, you can easily get a job in the market of the 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs. Not a job, man. I'll tell you, you know what? Let me pause the recording. In the complete world right now, there are only I think 60,000 people are CCI certified. If I talk about the active right now, only the 50,000 people will be active in the market right now. I'm not pretty sure, but yeah, it's near on it. This will be active. And these exams are, it's not like it's valid for the full 10 years and 20, it's just only valid for the 3 years. So after the 3 years, what happened? You need to renew this exam. Renew means what? Either you can give the CCNP any of the paper, right? Or any of the lab exam of the any tracks. Then your number will be renewed. Otherwise, you will be, what we call, the word is not coming in my mind. You just say that, once the 3 years is expired and you haven't passed the examination, then your name and database for being removed from the Cisco team, right? So your number is not active now. So from your number, you cannot do anything. It's just a number for you. But by having a number, if your number is active, the benefits, understand what benefits the company gets normally. Normally, you have seen that whenever you go for the exam interview and it's written over there, we need a CCI certified candidate. And somebody put the question bracket, I need an active CCI candidate. So if you are active, if your number is active, the company, what happened? The company is getting the benefits. The benefits is what? Whenever they are buying the devices from the Cisco, they are getting the discount over there. So sometimes they will get the discount of the 20%, 30%, 40%. Can you imagine that? The one device cost is 1 crore rupees of your data center devices. And if you get the discount of the 30% in that one, you just save the 30 lakhs rupees. The company saved the 30 lakhs rupees. You think you pass your exam and you get a job, but from your name, right, companies are making a lots of money. So that's why the requirement of the CCI is a different label. If you are a CCI, easily you can get a job, man. Easily, it's not a big thing. But doing the CCI is like doing the PhD. It will take almost, training itself, it's take the 8 months, 7 to 8 months training will take complete CCI to high level. And then after that, you need to do the practice of the 2 and 3 months. Then you can go with the lab exam. And the cost also comes at the high level. Like the cost almost comes the 4 lakhs rupees something. Total cost is coming for the examination from the training to the examination level, because the cost of the CCI lab exam itself is coming on the I think so, $1,800 something, including taxes. And after that, you have a training fees, right? The many more things is coming over there. So, but yeah, the exposure of the CCI, it's very, very high level in the market. Right? Now, let me give it a quick glance. I need 5 minutes more, guys. In the CCNP, guys, apart from the ENCORE exam, I'm just going to explain the enterprise right now, because the reason is that I cannot go with the each tracks of the paper. When you come to the different training for the SP label and data center, I'll give you the glance of this one as well. Or I'll make a separate videos for this track and I'll upload on the YouTube as well. So in the enterprise, what happened? I have some papers over there, and that paper name is a concentration paper. Now, what is the role of this concentration exams? Now, let's take example. So the Vabna, she's planning, so she has a plan already. I need to do the CCNP. And other guy, Mohit, he planned for the CCI. So what happened? So Bhavna has to give the CCNP ENCORE because he needs a CCNP certification, right? I'm not talking about the training part, guys. Training part we have done. I'm talking the certificate part right now. So he needs a CCNP certification. So she will do the ENCORE. After doing the ENCORE, what happened, right? C needs to give the one of the concentration. We have a lots of concentration paper. I'll show you that, don't worry. So C needs to give the one of the concentration paper. Right? So C need to give the first ENCORE or one of the concentration paper he will give. So let me tell you the one of the concentration paper we have. Chrome. I know the name, but I don't recall the number right now. Whatever the numbers we have, the concentration paper, CCNP, enterprise exam. Yeah, here we have. So if you see, let me put this guy in the notepad. Okay, so we have a 350-401. That's my ENCORE code. So this is the code we have. Do one thing, format. I can decrease the size. So you need to understand this part is very, very important, because if you understand this part, then you can easily save the lots of money by doing the CCNP and CCI. You can decide which what should I do? Should I do the CCNP and should I do the CCI? So this examination is a 120 minutes. It's a 2 hours of examination. So normally you will get the question of the 80 to 90 question. You will get that. Then concentration exam we have. The first we have a NRC. The code we have a 300-410. You need to only choose one. It's not a mandatory to do all. So either you can do the NRC, either you can do the SD-WAN. One more thing, I'll tell you that SDN is a new word in the market nowadays. So SDN solution is present everywhere. It's present in the enterprise, it's present in the data center, it's present in the service provider as well. We have a, it's also there in the security as well. So we have another paper of the constitution that's called the designing, right? And these all the concentration paper that you can see that mostly they are in the 90 minutes. So the only the core paper that comes in the 120 minutes, right? All the concentration that you can see, that's 90 minutes of the paper. Automation. So these are the tracks, right? You have over here. So let's come over here now. And if you see, can I put like this way? NRC. Yeah, I can do that. Let me take a different color. I'll take a red. No. Yeah, 1 minute. I'll take a size of 10 and I'll put it in the paint right now. All good, right? Leave it, don't have a space. So what you can do that, you need to choose the one paper. So let's come to the, again, the same example. So the Bhavna, right? She is planning to do the CCNP certification. So what she can do that? She need to give the ENCORE paper. That's a 120 minutes of the exam. And she needs to select the one of the concentration paper, any one of them. So which one? Which one should we should do now? So we have to go with the 300-410. Why we should go with the 300-410 NRC paper? The reason is that because this paper is going to contain the good information about the routing protocols and the switching and the VPN technology as well. These paper that you can see, the SD-WAN solution, the designing network, these are the very advanced level of things over there. So normally people are do this one. And in the training as well, we do the CCNA training, we do the CCNP ENCORE training, and we do the NRC training as well. We have a quick glance of the designing and the SD-WAN solution, right? But the mostly we are going to cover the this two, NRC, enterprise core, and the CCNA level. So this needs to give the ENCORE paper, that's a 120 minutes of exam. Then he needs to give the NRC. That's a 90 minutes of exam. Once C will do the both things, then C will get the CCNP certificate, and C can say that, hey, I'm a CCNP certified guy. Let's take example of the Moin. So C, or he already planned to do the CCA. What's he has to do that? He need to give the CCNP ENCORE paper. That's a 120 minutes. And then he can go with the lab, CCA lab, 8 hours. So he doesn't want to do that, the concentration paper. If he wants to do that, if he has a good budget, he can do that. It's not a mandatory part. It's optional part for Mohin, right? He can do, he cannot do. It's up to the Mohin. If he needs a CCNP as well, he can do that. But normally when you have a CCIE certified, there's no sense to tell the guy, hey, I'm also CCNP certified. Understood? Because there is no need of that. But sometimes what happened, the company has a requirement. I need a CCNA certified candidate. If you check the, just go through that today, what you can do that. Just go through the naukri.com and check that. So you will see the written over there. Yeah, I need a CCNA candidate, CCNA certified candidate. I need a CCNP certified candidate. So if they will mention you, the CCNP certified candidate, it means that you need to give the concentration at the same time and core paper as well. But when he write I need a CCI lab guy, a CCI certified candidate, he's not going to look for the CCNP certification. He's only going to look for your number, the magic number that you will get after passing the lab exam. All good? Guys, anybody has a question? I'm done. I'm so sorry. I haven't gave you the time to ask the question because it's just a basic information, but you will have a time, of course, right, from the theory classes. So tomorrow onwards, we're going to start the theory. If you have any question, you can good to go and ask me. Meantime, what I can do that, I'll put this one in the chat, right? You can go through this website of the Cisco and check. And also, I'm going to recommend you what you can do that. You need to go to the Cisco Wikipedia, right? Because you are learning, you're giving your all time to the Cisco companies and learning the Cisco tracks. So I'm going to recommend you, please go through the Wikipedia pages, right? When the Cisco comes in the market, what Cisco is doing that, who is the founder of the Cisco, right? Who is the current CEO of the Cisco right now? So what is the turnover of the Cisco? Because it helps you, right? It's like putting your money to the one of the stocks. You're putting the complete life to the Cisco right now. Okay, so it was founded in the 1984, right? And if you see that, it's not only the networking company, it do the things with the different tracks as well, like for example, networking hardware, software, technical communication equipment as well, right? So it's not a pure networking company, but everyone has a dream job in Cisco, Junipers, right? If you see that the Cisco products, you can also see that over there in the down. If you see that we have a different types of Cisco product, don't worry, that we'll see that whatever the Cisco products we have. If you see the Cisco first router, 9086, but nowadays now the router is not looks like this one. Cisco has acquired the many companies, man. So if you go to the down, you will not see over here. I'll show you that. Cisco acquisition. I'll just go with the Wikipedia. They have a bunch of company, right? That Cisco has acquired, man. So if you see that from the 1993, right? They have acquired the multiple companies. go down. In the recently, the Splunk has acquired, right? And then also Valent, right? So these are the cybersecurity company that Cisco has acquired. Then cloud networking security that Cisco has acquired. So Cisco is doing the great job in the market. But again, each track has a different, expertise. So Cisco has a good expertise in the enterprise. Cisco and Juniper has a good expertise in the service provider. Data center, if I talk about, right? Cisco already have it, but Arista is doing the great thing. Right? Security, always. Palo, amazing firewall, always top in the market. CCDE, again, the Cisco is there, right? And the DevNet also, the Cisco is there. So it doesn't mean that we don't have other vendor. We do have it. We do have a FortiGate as well. We do have a Juniper as well. There's RX firewall of the Juniper. Then we have a Cisco as well. But each tracks has a different one. It's not like Cisco is our expertise in everything, right? Cisco has expertise in the something. But like, for example, security, Palo Alto is expert, a good level, only for the firewall perspective. But if you have seen the different things, we have eyes, we have a WSA, right, in the security. So you cannot, other companies cannot compete with the Cisco with the different things as well in the security terms. All great, guys. Anybody has a question? Bhavna, do you have any question? Bhavna, Faizan, Moin, Savitra, Sachin, Subodh, Vaishnavi. Anybody has a question, guys?
No, sir, clear.
All good?
No, sir.
Great, guys. So what you can do that, so you guys just put the, I'm so sorry, what happened to my, you can just put the email address to the WhatsApp, my WhatsApp number you do have, right? I think so. If you're not, let me write down the WhatsApp number, 70764. WhatsApp me, right? And put the email address as well, so that I can send you the today's videos and the drive links, everything in the group. So first ping me on the WhatsApp so that I can add you in the group, right? And then you share your email address in that group so that I can send you the drive link of the today class. Okay. So I'll see you the tomorrow, guys, at the same time. Okay. And tomorrow we'll jump to the networking concept. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And also upload this paint file so you can get the paint file as well in the folder. Bye-bye, guys.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.